what is the current Hindi film phase now?
We are looking.
What? You're looking. There's no understanding
Right
now.
now, nothing. Everybody's looking. Everybody's looking because everybody's scared and confused.
Bollywood has been consistently failing at the box office, and it's not just because of boycott Bollywood. That's what we're going to dig into in today's video, but first, roll that intro. Let's take the story of Aamir Khan. He's given so many hits, he's one of the biggest stars this country has ever seen. He's an actor who guarantees content and commerce. In 2016, Aamir Khan's film Dangal opened to a collection of 30 crores in India on day 1, which increased to 35 on day 2, 42 on day 3, and it kept on increasing until it became the highest grossing Indian film of all time. 2018, one of his most panned films, Thugs of Hindustan, opens to a collection of 52.5 crore on day 1. That's how well even his bad films open. In 2022, his Labor of Love, and a film that I really wanted to work, which I was really looking forward to, made on a budget of over 180 crores, Lal Singh Chadda opened to 11.5 crores on day 1. And this is not just Aamir's story. It's the same with Akshay Kumar, Ranbir Kapoor, Ajay Devgan, Shahid Kapoor, Ranveer Singh, Ayushmann, John Abraham, Tiger Shroff, Kangana, whoever you want to name. In 2022, only 4 Hindi films, Kashmir Files, Gangubai Kathiawadi, Bhool Bhulaiya 2 and Jug Jug Dio to a certain extent. Only these 4 films have performed well at the box office, and everything else has been a horror story. To understand why Hindi films are failing, first we have to get into the shoes of the common Hindi audience. At one point, going to the theatres was one of the few sources of entertainment. It was cheap, it was accessible and enjoyable. Today, going to the theatre is a luxury. A single ticket in India for a new movie costs anywhere between 200 to 300 rupees. This is on the cheaper side that I'm talking about. Petrol price is at an all-time high of over rupees 100 per litre. So going to the theatre, beating all of that traffic is an expense. Snacks at the theatre, add another 200 bucks at least. And this doesn't get done even after the movie is over. You have to pay the parking at the mall, which the theatre is located at, add another 100 rupees. So the total cost of a single person going to the movie theatre is at least 600 to 700 rupees. And if he comes with his family, so if you take this common movie watching audience, maybe a few years ago he wouldn't have thought about all this, but in a post-pandemic world with inflation and recession looming over him, he's gonna think at least once, is this even worth it? Which brings me to reason number 2, the rise of the OTT. In a time when most industries suffered and where movie theaters remained closed, streaming platforms are one of the few industries that made a killing. And this has happened because, for the common man, these streaming platforms have become a blessing because of 3 main reasons. Affordability. Even the costliest streaming subscription, which is Netflix, is available at 649 rupees per month for a premium plan and goes as low as 149 rupees per month for a mobile-only plan. Hotstar, for example, starts at 899 per year. Amazon Prime Video costs 180 per month or 1499 per year plus added Prime benefits. So let's say you had 1000 rupees with you. On one side, you have an annual streaming subscription service which gives you access to thousands of movies, shows, documentaries from around the world. And on the other hand, you have one trip for one person to one movie at the theatre. Which one are you going to choose? Accessibility. When a new Hindi film hits the theatres, it releases anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks on streaming. For me to go on the first day, first show, or during the opening weekend with my friends or family, the film has to guarantee me an unbelievable, unmissable theatre experience. Otherwise, I'm not going to go. I'm just going to watch it on streaming. I can watch it on my TV or on my phone on 4K or HD without the credits. I can skip the intro, I can skip the songs, and I can pause and come back to it whenever I want. Another very big plus. Now I can watch any movie from any part of the world in my own language because of the dubbing, or I can choose to watch it with subtitles. I can also share my subscription with my friends or family, and they do spoil my viewing recommendations and my history, but it's cheap. From the industry side, Aamir Khan has a possible solution for this.
For example, I make sure that my films don't come on OTT for, 6 months. I try my level best to do that.
Quality. Hindi films may be producing mediocre content in theatres, but when it comes to digital, in the last couple of years, whether it's movies or shows, they're trying to explore much newer themes, much more interesting stories with much more freedom, and the quality of this digital content is starting to exceed theatrical releases. A film like Darlings, which was co-produced by Alia Bhatt, if it released in theatres, it may not have performed as much, but on streaming, it was widely watched and widely discussed purely because of the nature of the streaming platform. And the increase in quality has mainly happened because when you open the homepage of your streaming platform, you see your own language or movie right next to Stranger Things or maybe the best anime show in the world. So when we're competing in the same area for the same attention, it pushes our content producers to start upping the game. Now, beyond these three factors of affordability, accessibility, and quality, if I have to move my ass from the sofa all the way to the movie theater, you need to give me a reason, which is UBP. This is a term coined by Kunal Shah, who's the founder of Cred, and it stands for Unique Brag-Worthy Proposition. Kunal uses this term in the context of products or services, but in the context of films, it means what is that one quality of the film which is going to force me to make my friends and family come with me to watch the movie at the theater. This year that happened to me only with 3 or 4 movies maybe. One was Gangubai, Top Gun Maverick, RRR and Vikram. Both these films I watched thrice in the theaters with different groups of people, and it had quite a few qualities. The combination of directors and stars, particular action set pieces which give constant goosebumps. And when you consider all of these factors, you know that such films have to be watched on the big screen with a live audience, even if it's coming to streaming in 2 weeks or 1 month or whatever it is. That is a film's UBP. For me, the next immediate film that promises that UBP is Brahmastra. There's been a lot of criticism around the teaser and the trailer and the music, but I definitely want to watch it on the big screen because of what all it promises. A related point to this is audience disconnect.
We still love the entry, the song sequences, the dialogue bazi, the touch-on between characters. We love all that, but nobody's doing it. But understand, if you want the big audiences to come into those massive theaters across the country, then you've got to think big. You've got to think the syntax of commercial mainstream cinema.
And the filmmakers that we have that really know the audience's pulse, like Rohit Shetty or Rajkumar Hirani, there are few such filmmakers that exist, but most others don't even speak Hindi or they don't know anything that's happening in the world immediately around them. And obviously, it reflects in the films that they make. I saw someone on Twitter who summed it up perfectly. Most of Bollywood is making lemonade for an audience that wants buttermilk. Actor fees and star value. According to this article by Himesh Mankad on Pinkvilla, which is about the rising fees of actors, apparently some actors have doubled or tripled their salary over the course of the pandemic without selling a single ticket, mainly because of their social media following. What? There are actors who charge 11 to 20 crores per film when their films don't even do a 10 crore business. Plus, you have to pay their hair, makeup and security team more than 5 lakhs per day.
Stop it. Get some help.
Whereas in the South, especially in Tamil and Telugu cinema, there are actors who charge a lot of money, definitely, but only because they can guarantee a bumper opening number. This is what's missing from Bollywood right now. Most of the film's budget is allocated for the actor's salary. If you're making a fantasy or a mythological or any kind of superhero film also, the quality suffers and the film ends up becoming a disaster. And finally, there is the SSR factor. If you ask me personally, I don't support any of these boycott movements because I don't believe in going after someone's work, trying to bring them down because of zero facts or something that they said so many years ago, which doesn't make any difference. But honestly, boycotts have always been there. There are some people who will always try to boycott or try to bring someone down, but that really doesn't affect the film that much more. Having said that, like Shwetab Gangwar, a YouTuber I follow, he said in one of his videos that the death of Sushant Singh Rajput has affected all of us deeply, especially because he was an outsider. None of us really know what the real story is, but even after 2 years, you can't ignore the fact that the anger of what happened to him is deep within us somewhere. Consciously or subconsciously, we feel let down by a few people in the Hindi film industry. Because of that, a lot of other filmmakers, actors, technicians are suffering with no fault of their own. I'm sure that there are a lot more reasons why Bollywood is going through such a rough phase, and I'm sure it's just a phase, and I just wish that they go back to basics, review their strategy, make some changes and come back stronger. And the first of those changes is that instead of just doing South Indian remakes, Hindi filmmakers are now collaborating with South Indian directors, actors and technicians. Like Karan Johar is producing Liger with Puri Jagannath directing Vijay Deverakonda. There's the Vikram Vedha remake starring Hrithik and Saif with the original directors Pushkar and Gayatri. Shah Rukh Khan is working with Atlee, Anirudh and Vijay Sethupathi for Jawan. And hopefully next year, Lokesh Kanagaraj will also be entering the Hindi film industry and just breaking new ground there. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot more interesting collaborations that are going to happen. We'll be talking about it in the upcoming videos. Let me know your comments, your thoughts on this video. Do you agree, disagree with any of the points, or any video ideas you might have for the future? Let me know in the comments. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.